Guys, a quick intro to start my video. I recently passed 1,000 subscribers on this channel. It's awards season. I get it. I just want to say thank you. If you haven't subbed yet, please consider doing so. I come out here in my garage. I talk about movies, awards season, horror. I just love cinema, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the garage. Gerald here with you, of course. Another Oscars-themed video. I do my rankings every year when the nominees are announced, and of course we got that a few weeks ago for the 96th Annual Academy Awards, the Oscars. I wanted to do something a little bit different today and fire some people up. In my comments, I got hit up on several of those videos. People also said, if these nominees aren't good enough for you, who else should be nominated? And of course, the psycho that I am, I said video idea. Now what this is I'm going to do lead actor and lead actress, and I'm going to give you the 5 performances this year that were my personal favorites that I also feel like are award worthy. So starting out with lead actor, I'm going to give you the 2 that actually got nominated for actor that I would keep in my personal top 5 as well. And that's Colman Domingo from Rustin. I've mentioned before how Colman Domingo transformed himself into an historical figure that I did not know enough about. I did not know about Bayard Rustin's legacy, his story, and his importance in the civil rights movement. And Colman Domingo brought that to life for me. And I also agree with the Academy in this case that it should have been nominated. Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer. This might be the underlined performance of the year. What Cillian Murphy did with this character of J. Robert Oppenheimer, obviously a real guy in American history, his leading of the Manhattan Project, his tenuous dedication to science and to his job, but also this battle within himself for morality and redemption. Cillian Murphy really did something special with this performance, and I think it'll go down as one of the greatest of this century. All right, so now let's piss some people off. I'm going to give you the remaining 3 nominees that would make my personal ballot for Best Actor. How about Zac Efron, the Iron Claw? When I reviewed the Iron Claw on my podcast, I said that Efron did something extraordinary here because he went against type, and frankly, he did something I did not know he could do as an actor. His range has now categorized itself as phenomenal to me personally. He's done a little hints of drama here and there, but now he can cement himself as one of the great dramatic actors after his turn as Kevin Von Erich in The Iron Claw. I was absolutely floored by his performance. Honestly, I don't know if I ever want to see this movie again. Ironically that I'm putting this actor in the final 5 performances for me personally, but it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix from Beau is Afraid. What Phoenix does in this movie that I was literally middle of the road on. I loved half of it. I hated half of it. But one thing that cannot be refuted is the stress level and the anxiety that this movie gave me. And that was helmed through Phoenix's performance here. He did some astounding things that made me question my own life in a movie theater. It was awe-inspiring to see him transform himself into this character. And while the movie falls short of making me feel good, knowing how dedicated Phoenix is to the craft and to this role specifically for Ari Aster really brought me a lot of joy. Andrew Scott, All of Us Strangers. Talk about a delicate, heartbreaking performance. Andrew Scott rips your heart out of your soul and leaves it on the cinema floor in this movie. Kind of subdued, silent approach to this character and to his reflection on his life, dealing with his past, wanting to reconnect with his family, but doing it in a way that is quite surreal in this movie. I was shocked at how emotionally affected I was by it. Now we're going to switch over to Best Actress or Actress in a Leading Role. I'm going to start with 2 that did get nominated. I agree with the Academy on 2 out of 5 only. First up would be Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon. If you watch my lead acting ranking, which people did not like my ranking of Lily Gladstone on that list, but she was my number 1. Lily Gladstone was able to take a overindulgent, kind of bloated film, over 3 hours long, this epic story that if you don't have a personal connection to or don't have any prior knowledge of, would be hard to stay invested for that period of time. But because of Molly in the film, Gladstone's character, I was bought in from the second she was on screen, and I craved her character. I connected to Molly, and by extension, the Osage people. Emma Stone, Poor Things. What Emma Stone does in Poor Things is beyond my comprehension as a human. She plays the ages from an infant to a woman in her 30s and does it in the course of this 2-hour film. I had read that it was shot out of sequence, so there may be one sequence where she has to play the mind of like a 16-year-old, and in the next one she's playing the mind of a 2-year-old, and she's back and forth. 30-year-old in the next scene. It's all over the place. And that is truly baffling to me that she was able to do it with such charisma, charm, and just absolutely nailed this role. And Emma Stone being able to embrace that character and live vicariously through Bella in this movie was transformative, I'm assuming, for her, and it was transformative for me as a viewer. All right, now I'm going to give you 3 that did not get nominated this year, but would be on my personal ballot of 5 nominees for lead actress. Greta Lee, Past Lives. The emotional endurance that I had to have to sit through Past Lives, I did not expect. I was absolutely flabbergasted by really all 3 main performances in this movie, but Greta Lee's real life, down-to-earth, fly-on-the-wall perspective just spoke to me. It affected me on an emotional level. It affected me on a spiritual level. I really connected to her character, to her dilemma. It all worked because of Greta Lee's layered, nuanced performance that was beyond belief, an absolute knockout. Sophie Wilde, Talk to Me. This is a horror movie that came out this year from A24 that's considered by a lot to be probably the best horror movie of the year or one of. Sophie Wilde's approach to this character, the psychological underlyings that she has to deal with, it's a very deep kind of performance if you really think about it. It's a possession horror movie on the surface, and that gets butts in the seats. But then once you get there, she really turns this character into a young woman who is dealing with so many things in the realm of mental health, just getting nominated for the Rising Star Award at the BAFTAs, and I think she has a good shot at it. I mean, it was a performance that stuck with me. Margot Robbie, Barbie. Well, here we go. Let's get the no-brainer out of the way. Margot Robbie was probably that number 6 spot, and she just missed. And who did she just miss to? Probably Annette Bening from Naiad. What else can I say about this performance? Not only is Margot Robbie the producer, and this is source material that was extremely important to her, and because of that passion and that connection to it, it's conveyed on screen. She turns this doll that's decades and decades old and brings it to life. And she does it with a beautiful charm and innocence, but it is a very funny performance. It's a very emotional performance. It's happy, it's sad, it's all over the place. And it just screams of not only women empowerment, but finding yourself, finding your true self, and trying to figure out where you belong in the world. All of that, everything I just said, I got from Margot Robbie's performance. Let's look at this again, guys. Here is your screenshot for my actor in a leading role. If it was my ballot in my nomination announcements, this is what you would have been seeing. What do you think of that? And then here is another screenshot for actress in a leading role. These would be my 5 nominees for my favorite performances this year from leading ladies. Could you imagine if you'd seen that card pop up on the screen there on Oscars nominations morning, or is it just me? How many people did I upset today? I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you thought of these nomination hopefuls, if you will. Who do you wish had gotten nominated this year? Let me know down below. I'll see you next time in the garage.